What's up everybody? Welcome to another episode of B is for Build. In today's episode, I've bought the most expensive wheels that I've ever bought in my entire life for the Mk4 Supra. You guys are going to absolutely love them. We've also got BC Racing coilovers, BR series coilovers that are gonna go on the Supra, and we're gonna get the quarter panel all figured out. All in today's episode. You guys are gonna love these wheels. Stay tuned. Before we get down to work, I want to take a second out to thank our sponsor. Today's episode is sponsored by Metal Supermarkets. So we source all of our metal for all of our projects from Metal Supermarkets. It's like a convenient store for metal. Any metal, any size, cut and ready fast. So for instance, Oscar and I, we needed a big piece of 1-inch aluminum for spacers that we're making for the boat exhaust manifolds. We rolled down to Metal Supermarkets, found what we needed in stock, got this huge billet of aluminum, and we're back in the shop in no time. And Oscar's made some pretty cool spacers out of them already. There's your boat update. Engines are exactly 1 inch away from being done. And at Metal Supermarkets, the speed of service is quick. Like I said, we are in and out the door super fast. They can cut your metal, and there's no minimum order quantity as well, and they'll cut your metal to size for you, and they can do it right there, or you can call ahead and call your order in. The staff that they have there and the customer service that they provide is top notch. It's what sets them above everybody else. They're super knowledgeable, they're very friendly, they're great people there, and they will help you source the metal that you need. They have a huge stock of different varieties of metals and shapes and grades, and they can also, if they don't have it, help you source hard to find types of metal as well. So visit metalsupermarkets.com. The link is right here on the screen. It's also in the top of the description. Click that, find one near you, get familiar with it. If you're a builder like me, it is a resource you want to have. Again, it's metalsupermarkets.com. Find one near you or order online. Huge thanks to them for sponsoring this episode. Let's get down to work. Operation B is for Body Shop. Yep. All right.
Building overshot.
Don't pull the building down with the Supra. Guys have moved the car into position. The pole, I'm gonna let them just work this out however they see fit. Has to look cosmetically good, Oscar.
Yeah, it has to look like the other side.
Yeah, they're gonna go ahead and give it a try, and we will let you guys know what we find works out. B is for Body Shop, big success. So,
2 vehicles.
I haven't shown them for that part yet. So basically what we try to do is emulate a traditional hydraulic frame pulling or body pulling jig. So normally your frame rails of your car are there, it sits on this big thing and it has its own arms that use a hydraulic ram to pull things away from the vehicle. So instead of using a hydraulic ram, we use this chain come along from Harbor Freight and our giant post over there. But that kept just moving the vehicle because the tires only provide so much friction. So then we strapped it to the Range Rover and pulled harder, and it worked way better than I would have ever thought. I was pretty confident that you guys would not be able to do this, to be quite honest. And this piece, you can't buy this piece from Toyota. It's not coming from Toyota, so I'd have to find another crashed Supra and blah blah blah. So I was gonna say it'd be really hard to restore, but now all we have to do is just a little bit of fine mallet work through here, a little bit of fine tuning, and then plug these holes right here, and we are good. We are like back to normal. So it's kind of what it normally looks like, and we're there. So great job, guys. There's a lot of more stuff that has to be removed. Everything that's welded on here already gets spot weld drilled out to make room for the new quarter panel. So well done, good job. Surprising. If you're at home and dumb enough to try, this might work. Alright guys, it's the next day, and all of the body like bending and stuff of the materials on the body is done. It's completely done. I'm really excited. So now we're gonna start getting this quarter panel back on here. I promise we are gonna get to the new wheels and tires. They're right over there. But I wanna get this quarter panel at least tacked on here first. So let me show you what we did a little bit off camera. Just a quick thing, we took some Steelite gray, sprayed it into a little cap, and then we paintbrushed it on over all of the bare steel. Steelite gray is a good corrosion resistant, and it's a weld through, so you can use it as like a corrosion resistant weld through primer. It's kind of the best of all worlds in that case. So we painted it on all of this bare metal as we were working through here. So now we're gonna we got our quarter panel over here, and you can see we're starting to make our cut lines where we're gonna have our butt welds, where it's gonna be welded into the car. And the goal, before we jump into the wheels and tires world, the goal is really gonna be to get this thing tack welded into the car and looking right. Let's test fit it up, see where we need to make our cuts, see what we gotta do, start clamping it, clamp it into place. I'm excited. This is gonna be awesome. All right, just real quick before we cut this, I wanted to, if anybody's following along at home, we kind of we like overlay the panel, scout out the panels and where they're gonna look best if we make that cut. And we do butt welds, no overlapping here. You wanna do a butt weld where you weld the two pieces together. There's a special welding technique to make sure you don't warp the panels, but first we gotta get the good cuts. So we'll get the good cuts done and get the panel fit on there, and then we can start talking about how we weld this without warping it. So we got those edges trimmed up, and we got like the edges butted up. We got a little bit of a gap. We made a small mistake, cut too much out here. If you're gonna have a mistake anywhere, that's the spot to have it. Yeah, we got a little filler piece we can fill in there, sand it smooth. No one will be the wiser. If we look at our door gap here, looks really, really good. It's nice and even. It does like look kind of large from, you know, what we're used to. So we meandered over to the other side, which has obviously never been a wreck, and saw that, yep, Supras just have pretty big door gaps. So that means that we are dialed on the fitment for this, which is like a big relief. Big relief. This thing was pretty badly damaged, and yeah, it's a very complex quarter panel. I was not kidding when I said this would be the hardest one we've ever done. I don't know if it has a lot to do with the fact that this back end was damaged too, but it's there. So we're gonna take it off one more time, clean up any of the if there's seam sealer in any of these gaps. Toyota uses a lot of seam sealer, by the way. I mean, look at this. It's just like it's birthday cake icing, and they just look at that back corner. That's OEM. That's so much seam sealer everywhere, and it's like that all the way in the back here. So anyways, you do not want to be welding into that. It will put corrosion in your weld. Not corrosion, what's called porosity. Porosity in your welds. Bad stuff, keep it away from your welds. So we're gonna take it off, clean the panel, and then we get to tack weld it in. This is so exciting. All right, well, Oscar is working on cleaning up the quarter panel. Kyle and I are jumping into the wheels world, but before we do wheels, we need to upgrade the suspension on this vehicle. Our boys over at BC Racing sent us a set of BR coilovers for this vehicle. If you've never tried BC Racing coilovers, they make your car drive so much better. It is insane. It will drive like it's on rails. It is an amazing, amazing upgrade. These guys make the best suspension in the game. Like, if you look at Formula D, drifting is one of the most suspension intensive, you know, race car sports, and these guys sponsor all the best drivers from Adam LZ, Von Gittin Jr., everybody pretty much. And these BR series coilovers are the jam. They're adjustable. They have adjustability right here, and they're a really good, like, economical, insanely great upgrade for your ride. It's pretty easy to install. We're not going to go through the exact how-tos of it, but we're going to go ahead and pop the wheels off, take off the OEM suspension, and upgrade our suspension to these BC Racing coilovers. That took forever. I don't know if you guys could tell, but we used a lot of tools. Dropped the front sway bar, dropped the lower control arm, a lot of stuff. Getting the stock one out, total pain. Getting the BC Racing ones in, total pleasure. They just look so cool, man. I'm so happy to have these in here. Huge thanks to BC Racing for supporting us on this build. There's a link in the description, guys, if you want the best suspension in the game. hit that link in the description, go check it out. That took so long that Oscar had plenty of time to get the rear quarter panel dialed in. So we've test fit the rear bumper. We're happy. We've got Cleco pins holding it all in position everywhere we want it to be. This thing, it looks like a car again. Very, very cool. So at this stage, we're gonna be tack welding this top seam right here, and then we're gonna test fit the hatch. That's the last piece that we need to test fit, make sure everything is happy, and then once it's good, we can fully start the weld out process on that. But I know you guys are excited to see wheels, so Kyle and I are gonna get the wheels on the car. 3, 2, 1, wheels. I bought expensive wheels, and I did it just for you guys. Honestly, it's 100% for you. This is not for me. It's $1,000 a wheel. We've talked about it before. Car went way up in value. We got to get fancy parts for it. But Koenig has a five spoke wheel that just came out that I think is pretty cool. I was planning on putting it on this car, but then had to spend the big bucks. So these are Advan Racing GTs. They're a 5-spoke wheel. They're kind of the 5-spoke wheel. TE37s are the 6-spoke. These are the 5-spokers. Now the tire fitment on this is an absolute joke. I can't imagine what the person that had this before was thinking. I'm just kidding. You guys may notice these. I actually bought these from TJ Hunt, my buddy TJ Hunt, and he was running a pretty aggressively staggered offset with a big meaty tire in the back and a much smaller tire in the front. We have all the best support in the world from these guys right here, Nitto Tires. So we will get actual good fitting tires, because that would probably scrape. I mean, we're gonna find out eventually in the back. There's not a lot of clearance room there, but and the front is stretched and too small. So we need less meat over there, but it's got a good width, and then we need more meat over here and more width over here. But we're talking about the wheels. The wheels are really cool. Now, when we do start talking about the color of this car, because I have not decided the color of this car, and I definitely am open to your guys' opinions. We're gonna talk about it more in the next episode, but these, you should notice, it's like mostly gray, but it does bounce a little color of brown. So something to think about. I'd probably not open to the idea of refinishing these wheels. Oscar's shaking his head. Let them be. So we might want to go with a color that complements the wheel. Just a thought. They do look really good though, so I'm pretty happy with them. And TJ is really particular about his fitment with wheels, so the offsets are exactly perfect. So the wheel fitment is dead on, which is really cool. All right, so jumping over into the quarter panel stuff again. Told Oscar to throw a couple tacks in here that we could undo if we need to. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Only 10 in case it's in the wrong spot. Oscar, very confident with the placement of this panel. He goes, they're easy to take off. All right, cool. So it's time to test the back hatch. If the back hatch fits in here well, that's a slam dunk, and our quarter panel is on the car in the right way. What a transformation. I mean, this is so freaking cool. I'm blown away that we are able to fix this back to looking good.
Looks really good.
And we test fit it with the rear bumper, and it's great. I mean, it's awesome. Let's get this rear hatch on here and make sure that it's looking right. Hatch fits really nicely. You can see we have a nice even body line running all the way through and down. We are fiddling with this last 1/4 of an inch gap right here, but we don't have any of the molding or any of the bolts in there, and I think we'll be able to just adjust that as we're done, because everything else fits perfectly. So I think it's just a tiny adjustment that we're gonna make later. But we are good to go. That's the green light on tacking in and fully welding in this quarter panel. It's a part of the car now. It's silver. It identifies as a silver Supra. Passenger side JDM car. Suspension is finished, quarter panel welded in there, about 90%. We got a little bit of work to do on the lower and the wheel well. Man, such epic progress. I'm so happy with how the backside of this came out. Just being like a full restoration is really good. Really just pretty epic. It's a lot of progress. Thank you guys so much for watching. Please remember to subscribe so you don't miss any more future episodes on this Supra. See you on the next one. Peace!